Why are we here today?
Talk about the photos.
En Facebook?
Yes. You want
¿Por
to see?
qué?
Let me show you a few.
Meet the Jenkins, a family of 6 and counting, a family that has everybody up in arms on TikTok. Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Coloring and Comments. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, take a look around, see what you like, comment wherever you want to. On this channel, I color in mandalas and talk about random topics. And today we'll be talking about the Resilient Jenkins. So if you're not like me and not on TikTok, I know, I'm not on TikTok. You might not have heard of the Resilient Jenkins, but somehow the Resilient Jenkins made it onto my YouTube feed. So, by all appearances, they look like the normal family vlogging channel. I think that's what they call them on TikTok as well. I don't know what they call them on TikTok. If it's a channel, it's a channel. If it's a page, it's a page. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So, usually these channels are where parents showcase their kids, sometimes in matching outfits. They talk about their Walmart hauls, and everybody looks so happy and wholesome. And then I started to wonder, why does everybody have a problem with the Resilient Jenkins outside of the fact that family vlogging channels are problematic in general? So I started doing some digging. And the first thing that a lot of people seem to have a problem with is the fact that this is a family of 6 and counting, because the mother, Stephanie, is pregnant at the moment. And all these people, plus 2 cats, live in a 1-bedroom apartment.
As you can read in the caption above, we're a family of 6 going on 7 living in a 1-bedroom apartment. As the kids grow older, that means we constantly have to adapt our environment to give them more means for privacy and extra space. When outside our environment appears cluttered, disorganized, what have you. But quite frankly, after making do for nearly 3 years now, I have nothing but a grateful spirit for the roof over our head. Generally, the instant judgment me and my husband receive, why have so many kids if you don't have enough space for them? See, my perception is judgment comes from a place of not having the experience. When you've experienced enough, you generally don't judge people. I can tell you after everything I've been through in the past 3 years, there's very little I have to judge people on. I would be lying if I said there wasn't a point in my life that I was so naive that I might have judged a poor person based off their appearance. And like I said, I have learned a lot. I generally look like I'm roughing it, but that's because our kids come first. I do everything I can to keep our environment clean and tidy. When it comes down to it, I could shove everything my kids have in 1 bedroom of some of these houses I see, and it would really look like nothing. We try to teach our kids to take care of what they have, be grateful for what we have. We keep praying and pushing for the growth that we want. Appreciate y'all watching. See you in the next video.
I want to stop here first and say that I'm not here to poverty shame, and that will not be tolerated in the comment section as well. There are many families that are forced to stay in situations that are not so ideal, or in living conditions that are not so ideal, because of financial hardships and other factors that are beyond their control. Unfortunately, we live in a world like that. But the difference with the Resilient Jenkins and why the netizens are so angry with Stephanie, the mom, and Drew, the dad, are because of the following reasons. The first one is that they insist on having more children, knowing the harsh realities that they live in. Their words, not mine. They are actively having more kids, knowing that they live in a 1-bedroom apartment, knowing that they can't afford the space for their kids, because children deserve the same amount of privacy as adults do. The second reason, which I would have probably put the first because it is so beyond comprehension, is the fact that the mom purchased the dad, Drew, a PlayStation 5. And people were like, why are you purchasing a PlayStation 5 if your children are not in a position where they have their own space? Why not use that money to save for a deposit on at least a 2-bedroom apartment? Why not use that money to buy your kids new clothes, new shoes, etc.? And they say that because I know a lot of people can argue that maybe it was a one-time influx of cash and they really wanted to give the husband something nice for supporting the family, which is another thing we're going to get into. But let's say that was the case, right? Um, the problem here comes in that they have an active wish list on Amazon that they share with people. And on this wish list includes the basic necessities for their children, like shoes and clothes. So then one wonders, if your children are in need of shoes and clothes, why in the world are you buying a PlayStation 5 for your husband and not shoes and clothes for your kids? I don't know how much a PlayStation 5 is. I just know it's more expensive than a Nintendo. And I have a Nintendo and that thing was expensive for my budget. So I can only imagine how much a PlayStation 5 is. But let's move on to the third point. And it kind of ties into the first one. And it has to do with the dad. So netizens are saying allegedly, right? Because I don't know this to be true. Um, it's just what was hinted to in one of their videos, one of the Resilient Jenkins videos, and it's a whole lot of mess. But what was revealed is that Drew believes that he is worth more than $30 an hour, and these are US dollars. And because he's worth more than 30 US dollars an hour, he is not going to work any job that pays him less than that. And people were baffled because if you have 4 kids and counting, if you have a family that some may argue are living at or below the poverty line, wouldn't you do anything to ensure that you secure a job in order to take care of your family, in order to move your family into better living conditions? And what netizens found was that apparently, allegedly, right, is that Drew does not want to work because he doesn't want to pay child support for one of his other kids. And I'm not going to go into that because I don't know the truth to that. I don't know the merits of that. But if that were true, I think that just adds salt to the wound, because it shows again or reinforces the idea that people have that you don't want to take care of your kids. And why do you not want to take care of your kids if you insist on having more children? The fourth reason people are angry is because they insist on having pets while they can't even afford to take care of themselves. So if they can't afford to take care of themselves, how then can they take care of their pets? And if you watch some of the videos, you will see that at times the house appears to be not in the best condition, simply because they have cats that are peeing and doing a number two within the household. And I'm not really sure how well trained the cats are in terms of where they do their number two and where they pee. Um, but I know that that Stephanie has complained on multiple videos that the house smells of cat pee. So people of the thinking that if you're not able to ensure that your cat also has a decent space to live in, right? And you can't ensure that you have cat litter all the time that you can throw out and ensure that you don't have that smell in your house, why do you choose to keep the animal? And this frustration was reinforced because it was found out that she adopted another cat, or she took in another stray cat. I'm not so sure, but folks are arguing, why do you have animals? Because you can't take care of those animals. And we know you can't take care of those animals because you can't take care of your kids. The last reason why people are angry is because Stephanie seems to have this fetish when it comes to her husband. So Stephanie is a white woman, is having kids with Drew, which is a black man. And there's so many videos in which she talks about having superior genes and can't wait to have um, Black or African children. And it's very disturbing. It's a very disturbing thing to listen to, a very disturbing thing to read, because that's what she puts on the screen. And people are starting to wonder whether does she love this man or does she just want Black kids? And I'm not going to go and delve into the issue of race and politicization and how that reinforces racism, because I think that is a whole topic by itself. But it makes me wonder to what extent that child will be loved and the reasons as to why that child will be loved. And will that child have will that child be treated any differently from their siblings, whether it is them having access to um, better toys or a bed or whatever, and that siblings don't, because that already causes a disparity and could result in a lot of sibling tension and animosity. So this kind of rounds up why people are upset. People are very upset and concerned about the children's well-being. People are upset that the parents continuously share the location of their kids, so that kids are not safe, and the kids are therefore exposed to the PDF files of this world. Um, People are concerned that the children will be bullied based on what the teachers or other kids from their schools see. People are concerned of how everybody seems to have access to the intimate realities of these children. And these children didn't consent to this. These children didn't sign up and say, oh, let's have a TikTok channel that shows everybody that we as a family are struggling. Let's have a TikTok channel that shows everybody that I do not have my own room, that I sleep in the kitchen or the dining room or whatever space that they can create. So imagine the emotional toll this takes on a child. And adding onto that, a child that's going through puberty. The fact that everybody knows exactly what's happening in your life. And therein lies the problem with sharenting. Sharenting is defined as a practice where parents share photos, videos, and other information about their children online without involving their children in the decision-making process. Sharenting is not reserved for family bloggers only. Many folks are actually guilty of sharenting. A recent study found that an average parent shares nearly 1,500 pictures of their children before their fifth birthday. 1,500. And many might think that sharing the picture of your child is innocent and harmless, but that's not really the case. Many forget that, yes, you're your child's parent or guardian, and you take care of them, you make sure that they go to school, etc. But children remain autonomous beings and are therefore entitled to their own privacy. Having the legal obligation to take care of a child does not absolve you of allowing the child to have their own privacy, to make certain decisions that include how their likeliness will be used or how their pictures will be used. And the inability for parents to recognize that children are autonomous beings that can make decisions. You'd be surprised what kids can tell you about themselves and what they want to do. The failure to realize this can put a serious strain on a parent-child relationship, because as an adult, what you feel is harmless and doesn't mean anything can be embarrassing for the child for whatever reasons. And also, the child knows now better than, for example, millennials or baby boomers knew about the internet, is that children know now that the internet is forever. And that picture of them and that information of them that the parent put out is there forever. Many people have taken issue with family vlogging channels. And because of this, many people feel as though if they're not family vloggers, the realities of the impact of family vlogging does not apply to them. But one cannot take away from the fact that children will feel pressured to be worthy of a post. I mean, gone are the days when you can just take a random picture of your kids posing or doing whatever they're doing, and that would be great. Because now, whether parents realize it or not, consciously or subconsciously, is that there's always that pressure to take a picture that shows your child or showcases your child in a better light than whoever's child, better light than Suzanne's son, because my son now is on the dean's list and is doing the best, right? And social media already puts a lot of pressure on kids without the parent adding additional pressure for the child to always perform in a way that will give the parent more likes, or potentially or hopefully make the parent go viral, because folks be wanting those likes and those views. And yeah, and if you think it's still not a big deal, think of your most embarrassing moment, like the most embarrassing moment of your life. Now imagine having that moment memorialized on the internet. So no longer is that moment reserved for you and whoever was in your direct proximity when that embarrassing moment happened, but it's now seen by you, those folks, and however many billion people have access to the internet and have access to whatever platform your image or your video was posted.
When I say that things about my life were constantly posted online, I mean like everything. About my day-to-day life, about my school schedules, about my sports, about my mental health, about my health issues. I remember even right after I was hit by a drunk driver, my mom was right up in my face as I was strapped to a stretcher board taking photos to post on her Facebook page. So the videos that creators like Mama Uncharted make where parents are right up in their kids' faces after something traumatic, those videos are not wrong. Like, they are 100% accurate.
You family vlogger bitches are going to hell! And let's talk about why. The first round of vlogger kids from the 2010s have grown up and are sharing their stories. Let's talk about one story. She said that the mom broadcasted her first menstrual cycle. The kid got into a car accident, and instead of the mom comforting the kid, like, oh, baby, it's going to be all right, the mom put a camera in her face. The kid said it got so bad that when she was 12 years old, a man that was stalking her based off of her mom's YouTube videos decided to message her on Facebook and follow her home at one point in time. The kid would hide in the bathroom to avoid being videotaped and photographed. The kid was also bullied at school because their intimate moments were posted on the mom's YouTube for their family vlog. The kid got a staph infection at one point in time, and the mom exaggerated the condition so bad that the math teacher who was watching the mom's videos told the kids to, quote, stay away from the infected girl. And that ain't it. The kid is saying this is a digital footprint that she did not create, and it's following her around for the rest of her life, and that is why she is fighting and seeking laws similar to the ones that govern child actors, one, for just compensation, and to protect them as well. This is why we keep saying y'all need to stop pimping y'all's kids out, because they're gonna grow up and go on CNN and talk shit about you. Put the camera down. We don't need to know their doctor's appointments, their diagnosis, what they're going through, their first menstrual period, because you ain't telling us when your husband is knocking your head between the washer and dryer and cheating on you with the town pump. So why are you telling all your kids' business? Stop doing that, y'all. For real.
So where do we go from here? How do we get a balance of sharing moments while at the same time giving our children autonomy? I think the most important thing is to distinguish between your personal life and your personal brand. Your children and your family are not your personal brand. That is your personal life. And knowing that although little beings are your children, that these little beings are also deserving of privacy. These little beings can give consent in certain situations. And here I'm only talking about consent in terms of, can I post your picture? Is this picture okay? Can I share this picture with auntie who? Can I post this picture on social media? Learning to engage with your kids and explaining to them that when I post this picture, so and so can see it, or everybody can see it. Because kids are smarter than we give them credit for, especially these kids that are born in this new age, this Gen Alpha kids, yo, they know everything. So know that your child deserves that autonomy, asking for consent before you post online. But I think if anything, learn to limit the amount of personal content that you share online. Not everything needs to be an Instagram post. But what's your take on family vlogging and parenting? Do you think that it's possible to have a balance? Or should kids just be kept off social media in its entirety? So I'd like to hear your thoughts. Um, Please drop them down in the comments. And remember, kids are precious beings and deserve privacy. May your day be colorful and wonderful, and I'll see you in the next video.